So Saturday night, I went out with the boss for dinner, and we don't do it often. You know, we're sort of busy with kids and that sort of thing, so it's good to get out once in a while. I went to the local place just down the road and have a meal there, have a nice meal, and there's also got a bit of a bar attached. And I actually quite like it because there's a big mix of people down there. They're not just all young dickheads, you know. There's older dickheads there as well. And but anyway, we're sitting there. I'm having my pint, and the boss is having a cocktail. And there's these young blokes at the bar there ordering cocktails, and I was sort of watching them. I'm thinking, oh yeah, you know, these guys are getting drinks for their girlfriends or whatever. And we wandered back off, and we sat down at our table, and they're sitting opposite us, and then they rock back with all their cocktails, and they're drinking it themselves. And I was just watching them while I was drinking beers, and I'm thinking, fuck, all these young, smooth criminals just drinking cocktails, and they went back and they were just getting different ones all the time. I think maybe they were doing something else as well because they were quite sprightly. And what I found real interesting was on the table next to us, there was a bunch of young girls. They're all drinking beers, and the boys are drinking cocktails. Oh, that's fun. I don't know what's going on there. I know. It's like, what the fuck? And they weren't just like, they were drinking like purple and red cocktails and just like fruity coloured ones and shit. I don't know. I mean, each to their own, but I just found it strange that the boys were doing that, and then this table full of girls, they're all drinking beers.
Nice to see.
It's good sport.
Podcast waves, speaking loud, blasting rants about the young crowd, riding high on boomer sneers, mocking all those millennial fears. Just tune in, hear the call, old school minds get off my lawn.
G'day, Gommel Army, and welcome to another edition of the Get Off My Lawn podcast, the podcast that thinks reality TV is trash, but never misses an episode of Below Deck. I'm one of your hosts, Darren, and this is my co-host, Dave.
Hi there.
And thanks for taking some time out of your day to listen to us poke fun at the quirks of social media, millennials, Gen Z, and anything else that makes us laugh. Look for us at Get Off My Lawn podcast on Facebook and Gommel Army, Goml Army, everywhere else, especially on YouTube, where the only way you'll actually find us is by putting in Gommel Armies, because bloody Gavin McGinnis and his very popular Get Off My Lawn podcast pretty much rules that algorithm. So Facebook, Get Off My Lawn podcast, everywhere else, Gommel Army. So Dave, how you been?
Yeah, good. Just had a bit of a break, just got back, so we thought we should get back into it. But before we go any further, there's something I need to discuss, and there's been an international incident that involved one of our Australian citizens, and I'd like to apologise on behalf of Australia.
Oh, I think I might know where this is going.
So many people had to witness such a heinous crime against the fine art of breakdancing. We're truly sorry that the rest of the world had to witness such a disgraceful act.
Prepared this statement, haven't you?
I have. And you just talked all over it. You want me to do it again?
No, that's all right. Keep going, mate.
There was an international incident that involved one of our Australian citizens that I'd like to apologise for on behalf of Australia. That so many people had to witness such a heinous crime against the fine art of breaking or breakdancing. We're truly sorry that the rest of the world had to witness such a disgraceful act. It's still a mystery as to how to the people of Australia as to how ray gun even ended up at the Olympic Games. I mean, as an ex-breaker yourself, what are your thoughts on that?
You prick. Yeah, well, look, so I had my time in the 80s. That is what it is. And, you know, I got paid to do some dancing and a couple of TV appearances. So I guess I can come from a little bit of a position of authority when it comes to judging what she did there. It was high-level crap. And to be honest, everyone's got a 12-year-old niece or nephew, I think, that could do way better than she did, because it was like, for starters, this was the problem I had. So breakdancing's pretty urban, pretty edgy sort of thing. So going there and presenting in your nana's lawn bowls outfit is probably not the best start. It's not going to actually set you up for a winning sort of routine. So
She's also like a breakdance teacher or an instructor, and her moves were rubbish. Like I've just been on a trip, right? And we did a bit of a trip around. Well, we did a bit of a cheeky pub crawl around Central Australia, and we ended up in this pub called the Inaminka Hotel, which is in the middle of nowhere.
Very famous.
One of the local, it's a spot to go. Like you never go past a country pub. It's a rule in Australia. You've got to pull in and have a few beers.
Exactly.
And there was a couple of station hands. I don't think you call them cowboys. They're just station hands, but it's cattle country out there. There was a young bloke in there that had a few bundies under his belt, and he was pulling off some moves that would put Ray Gunn to shame. Like he was doing some one-handed spinny thing just on the floor, sort of half underneath the pool table and near the bar, and he was killing it. Like he is an Olympic gold medalist in the making. So I don't know how Ray Gunn ended up where the hell she did. Anyway.
Yeah, look, it pretty much it's a mystery to most Australians, and we don't know exactly what went on there. And there are some reports about why and how, but we won't go into that because, to be honest, it's happened and it is what it is. But I think, Dave, you've done us a service in terms of apologising to the rest of the world, and I don't think you're the only person that's apologised for it. We should just get Reagan to apologise. That'd be the best thing.
I don't think she feels like she's done anything wrong, but I don't think she's the only one to blame either. Like the Paris Olympic Committee, they've got to share some of the blame for picking breakdancing for the Olympics, I think, and then not having a proper selection process. Not like going, all right, we want the best people to come. It's just anyone that put their hand up first, they got to have the first crack. That's what it seems like.
Well, that's what it seems like in Australia. Everywhere else, actually, pick their best. In Australia, we didn't actually do that. So,
we just got some old washed up dance teacher.
36 years old. Are you kidding? Like I was 14, 15, 16 and 36.
I mean, when you were 14 and 15, you were like doing head spins on a bit of old cardboard from the fruit shop, weren't you?
Yeah, look, flares, 1990s, head spins, windmills, a bit of up rocking, bit of popping, ticking, locking, all that sort of stuff.
All the standard gear that you get into. Yeah, she did none of that.
Gear, she did absolutely none of that. She did the kangaroo pose and lay on the ground. She did the Homer Simpson. Where he goes around on his slider in circles.
I think everybody's seen it. Everybody's seen it. We've apologised, and maybe we should just put it to bed.
Just leave it in the past. Very good, Dave. I like your thinking. Fantastic, mate. Tell us a bit more about your trip. Actually, you've understated the trip. It's through some very harsh country and a lot of Ks, and you had a bit of an issue on the trip as well. Why don't you tell everyone about exactly where you went? And it's funny that you do judge you mark your route by the amount of pubs you stopped at and not landmarks, but that's cool. Go for it.
Yeah. I mean, but that's all there is in a lot of these places. Yeah, it's just a pub and maybe a runway. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a group of us, and we went from Melbourne, which is where we're all from, across to sort of Adelaide, and then up from Adelaide towards the Simpson Desert. And we crossed the Simpson Desert on the Madigan line, which is one of the longest sort of trips from Mount Dare to Birdsville. Two exceptionally good pubs. One of them's just a tin shed. The other one's pretty fancy now. It's not like it was 25 years ago. Yeah. But it's about from Mount Dare to Birdsville, it was about 775 Ks of just sand dunes and nothingness. So it's pretty remote.
Yeah.
And one of the boys, legend of a bloke, broke the rear leaf spring on his truck about 250 Ks-ish out of Birdsville. And Birdsville's not a big place.
Is it?
Yeah, so it's a shit spot to break down. And after about an hour of mucking around, I managed to fix his truck using his winch rope. One of the boys came up with the idea from pulling the axle because it snapped the leaf spring and it makes the whole left-hand rear wheel touch the guard, the back of the guard. So it's quite a fuck up considering where you are or anywhere for that reason. So we ran the winch underneath the car, hooked it up to his axle, pulled the axle forwards. I got a ratchet strap, wrapped it around the axle, and then put tension on it back towards a tow bar. So it held the wheel in place and it would still have suspension. And the rest of the leaves just sat underneath the spring perch. So we just let his tyres down a bit more, and he was able to drive it out back into Birdsville. It's a big story, but he drove it back into Birdsville, about 250 k's through the desert, and it's hard going there. It's all soft sand, and the sand dunes are big as you get closer towards Birdsville. Then trying to organise the part, he found it 700 k's north in a town called Mount Isa. So him and one of the other boys, they drove up there. So he drove the car broken with my dodgy fix on it all the way up to Mount Isa to get it fixed. 700 k's in the wrong direction. That's going north. We're all from the south. And then, it got back on track. And when he was doing that, because there was a group of us, some of us just went and continued on doing what we were doing. Finished our pub crawl, as you were. But yeah, it was an interesting adventure.
Oh, fantastic. Very good. Look, I'm sure you got some photos, and we'll chuck them up on Instagram at some stage as well, I reckon, to let everyone have a look at where you'd been and all the vast nothingness that is the centre of Australia.
It is. I think unless you've been out there, you don't realise how big it is. Like, we stopped in this one pub, the William Creek Hotel. Now, that is in the middle of a station, and a station is like a farm here in Australia, I suppose. That is the biggest station in Australia and possibly one of the largest farms in the world, and it is 5,850,000 acres.
Jesus.
So that's how big it is, right? And
that's
so
huge.
put it in perspective, that's about 23,500 square kilometres.
Jesus.
That's one farm.
That's nuts. Imagine if there was grass here and you had to mow that.
That's great. Go ahead, make your jokes, Mr. Jokey. Joke maker.
Yeah, you wouldn't be mowing it. It's all pretty barren and flat, and I mean, you can run cattle there, but it's such a huge area. But unless you're out there, you can't appreciate the actual vastness of it all. Like, you go through some of these station properties, and there's fences, and you open the gate for the fence, you drive through, you shut the gate behind you, and then you'll drive at 100k an hour for 35, 45 minutes till you're at the other side of that paddock. And you open the gate and you go into the next one. Like they're massive.
Yeah, it's pretty huge. And I knew everything was pretty big when you got to talking about the stations in Australia, but when you actually told me how big some of them were, it was amazing. It was it was pretty awesome. So, but all right, look, this is that's your trip. We can go into that again, any of the other stories and stuff that you've got later on. But why don't we get into this? Is by the way, this is our 10th episode. This is a milestone episode. How good's that?
That's
and it didn't take us 3 months to get back on either.
No,
which is pretty good. So anyway, let's get into some of the funny stuff at least. I enjoyed your trip, but let's get into funny stuff. First cab off the rank, we've got a friend of ours. You probably remember Baylen Dupree?
Yeah, she's the girl with the fake ticks, right?
Yes, the girl with nice ticks. Yes. So she's I wasn't actually going to go back to Baylen, but she's got a new tick. So she, every now and then she'll come up with something that has set her off, and all of a sudden she's got a new tick. Now I want you to listen to this one, Dave, because this is a little involved.
Everyone, I need help picking out shoes for this dress. Oof, Joe Biden's buried in my backyard after snorting cocaine off of a zebra during the Revolutionary War of 1812.
How'd that go for you, Dave?
What I'd like to know is, how do you get the zebra to stand still while you're snorting cocaine off its back?
Oh, mate, you're coming in and out.
I mean, they're pretty flighty. Like, every time I've tried that, they run off. Oh, really?
Yeah, you're coming in and out. But it's all right. It's no big deal. Look, well, the thing that really pisses me off is it's not historically correct. Joe Biden wasn't around, although he's old. He wasn't around when the Revolutionary War was there. So, but yeah, the zebra. I never even thought of that. The zebra.
Yeah, see, that's where her tick falls apart.
We'd have to
you
make sure
sprinkle
you've got-
cocaine onto any hairy animal,
Yes.
and when you try to snort it, it all gets messed up in the fur.
We'd have to put it on
So-
the black
so
stripe
really-
too.
Yeah,
Otherwise
otherwise you wouldn't see it. Or you could be wasting some.
You could be wasting it, yeah. Yeah. The other thing is, I never thought that Tourette's tics were compound sentences. You know, like full on
Well,
sentences.
I guess they are. I mean, when you're a performance artist, who are we to say what a real tic is and what a fake one is?
Yes, exactly right. We'll let Baylen tell us. So, do you want to hear the rest of her little video here? She's
look, maybe a
she's
little
in
bit.
a white. All right, she's in a white dress, and she's looking quite presentable, and she wants some help picking shoes. Now, all the shoes are white. She's wearing a white dress, so I'm thinking any of them are going to go with the dress. But anyway, here we go.
I pick out shoe. Okay, these are the first ones I have. My boyfriend. Okay, these ones. I'm not putting them on.
They're just
So-
ugly white shoes.
It's like, she said, I'm not putting them on.
My boyfriend will kill you.
Well, that's another tick.
That's not a tick. And I think she's just a fucking crackpot.
Can you imagine being her boyfriend, though?
She doesn't. I don't even think she's got a boyfriend. You're not putting up with that sort of crazy shit, surely.
She does.
All right,
No, she
maybe
does-
some people like that.
She does have a boyfriend, but she'd be getting into all trouble. You know, if she go just, out with having a nice night out, all of a sudden she turns around and goes, "My boyfriend will kill you." All of a sudden it's on. So she'd be a handful. Well, she's got
Maybe
a couple of
that's her
handfuls,
thing.
and that's probably why.
She gets crazy to get her boyfriend into fights.
She likes it.
Anyway.
Get a vision. Remember. These. Again, not putting them on. Get a.
So she's not puting them on. Get a vision. In other words, visualize what
Is
they're
that
going
what
to be
she's
like
saying?
on.
Get a vision, right?
Yeah, get a vision.
Oh,
So
I know.
visualize would probably be better. But anyway.
He's at height. So does Joe Biden. Funnier.
No, yeah. Jeez.
Next one.
So she's showing you another pair of shoes. She's not putting them on either.
1 minute. Okay, I think I'm gonna wear these.
So she's just picked a pair herself anyway. So she's just totally ignored the.
They're all white shoes. They all look pretty much the same to me. Anyway.
Yes. Anyway, so that was. I thought you might like that.
Distracting us from her craziness.
I thought you might. It was
We need
that
to
initial
find
tip.
some
Mhm.
people that have legitimate tics. Because
I don't want
feel
to
like
make fun of
there's-
him. I like making fun of them. I feel sorry for them.
Okay. No, but I think we need to do some research to just make sure. No, I think if you like, some people make fun of my beard, so I think you can make fun of someone with tics, can't you?
He makes fun of your beard. No one makes fun of your beard. So, I think performance artists like this, like you said, I think they're more fun to make fun of, actually. So,
Because
anyway,
they're clearly just taking the piss.
yeah, exactly right.
All right.
So let's piss her off.
Who's the next performance artist?
Well, what we've got next is, we should have a bumper go into this guy, but because we're presenting for the first time, I won't worry about that. He's pretty famous, and I've sent you the videos, so I introduce you to this bloke. This bloke's been on a lot of podcasts. you saw what I built up. He's been on a lot of podcasts. He's become internet famous, and pretty much what he was looking for, and what a lot of the podcasts don't go into. They go into a lot of the videos that he does at the moment about the douchebag that he is at the moment. But this guy has been craving internet fame, TikTok clout for ages. I went back and had a look at a lot of the stuff that he does, all the review videos and reaction videos, and not review, but reaction videos he used to do. He's wanted internet fame for a while. So he's found his niche. his virtue signaling LGBTQIA plus niche. And let's have a listen to Daniel Alexander, otherwise known as Woke Dad.
I just got back from the mall with my transgender son and his best friend in the entire world. And as we were walking through Hot Topic, which I still, for the life of me, can't believe our kids are still shopping at Hot Topic and they think it's the new cool thing. Another mother was there, or another parent was there with their 2 kids. And as they would go to walk out, the woman goes, "Come on, girls, it's time to go." And then she goes, I mean, you know what I mean. And then she walks by me and she goes, "Kids these days, I can't even keep track of what's popular now." She was talking about her transgender kiddo, her clearly transgender kiddo.
So I'm going to stop it there because there's one thing that this guy does that just creeps me out, and he calls kids kiddos, whether they're his or someone else's.
Is that code for I'm a pedo? Well, I actually showed this to my 18-year-old daughter, and she, as soon as he said that, she just goes, "Ooh, he's such a creep."
Well, it's funny you should say that because I was going through these videos when I was setting them up for our show, and my eldest was looking over my shoulder and watching what I was doing, and he heard this and he goes, "Oh, he's a bit how you going?" So I was like, "Yeah, that's probably a good way of putting it."
He's just throwing off red flags all over the place.
Dear. Well, let's listen to what else he's got to say about this fictitious event that he reckons happened at the mall with his kids.
And the kid most definitely had a lost look on their face. So as that kid walked by me with their head hanging low, I looked over at him and I said, "I see you and you're doing just fine."
Okay. Go for it. Because I've just picked something up that I didn't notice.
How does he notice?
What?
How does he notice that the kid has a lost look on their face with his head hanging low?
Well, that could indicate a lost look. The fact that
he's just making it up.
Head's hanging low. Well, look, I actually picked up something that I haven't picked up.
Or is he just looking at his shoelaces?
Yeah, it could have been. Well, this is the thing. He said she walks past me, and then I went over to him. So he can't even keep it straight. So look, I'll I
think if you're going to make up some sort of woke story, you've got to get your facts right.
Yeah, exactly right. So let me just pull this back. I haven't noticed this before. All right, sorry. Wait, got to bring this back here.
And the kid most definitely had a lost look on their face.
He said,
as that kid
with
walked
her
by
head hanging low. So I looked over at him and I went over to him and said,
yeah, but he does say it. I missed it when you said it, and he does say it. I looked over at her and walked over there and said him. He's just fucking making this shit up.
Exactly.
"You're beautiful just the way you are." And I got a smile. Let me remind you as a parent, if you don't know anything about the transgender community, that's okay. But if your kid falls within that community, learn and grow. Also, if you're not going to learn and grow, I'm not a safe place for your bigotry.
So you've been warned, Dave. You've been warned.
What's he going to do?
See, the other thing is too, I think that mum is actually a better parent than he is, for all his, speaking about, being an ally with the LGBTQIA community and his kids, transgender kids and stuff, because the mum's gone, "Oh, I don't know what's popular nowadays." She recognizes that this is a phase, that little Johnny wants to be a girl today, but next week he wants to be a fire engine.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, but how many transgender kids are actually out there? If he's there with his transgender kid, what are the chances that you're in the same shopping center in the same shop and there's another transgender kid coming out with their friend and you just happen to have this interaction? That doesn't happen.
You've hit on a very salient point there, because you'll find out very quickly these are just the pin posts off his feed, but you'll find out very quickly that everything this guy actually talks about is just made up. So wait until we get to the next one. Yeah, I'll play the rest of this video, and then we'll get on to the next one. And I think you'll like that one.
And just remember that trans kids are one of the most at-risk groups
from
for
people like you.
not being on this earth. And the best way to keep them in this place with us is by having at least one affirming adult in their life. Doesn't matter if that adult is a coach, a preacher, a teacher, a friend, or a parent. One affirming adult is enough to keep those kids here. I would rather my son change his name and pronouns every day 1,000,000 times over than to ever have to write his obituary.
And you're a bad parent. Seriously. Changing his name using his pronouns every day. That's ridiculous.
He's been in a neighbor. He's not. He's just making that shit up.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
I'm
on that point, on that point, Dave, here's, let me just bring this up for you. Get a load of this.
Today I got a new tattoo, and right after I got that tattoo, I went to the store to get some Aquaphor, and a woman walked.
so that's his tattoo, do you like that tattoo?
His tattoo is weeds. I have that shit growing in my lawn, and I poison it to get rid of it. But did he just say I got that tattoo today?
Yes.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, he did say that.
I've been tattooed, and it gets all red and it swells up.
Yep.
He did not get that tattoo today. Yeah, that's it.
No.
Yeah. He's making up some more crap. All right, what else has he got to say?
Well, this is his interaction. Listen to this.
A woman went to the store to get some Aquaphor, and a woman walked up to me and asked me why I would get this tattoo.
Now, I agree with her. Why the fuck would you get that tattoo? Seriously, that's what she actually asked, if she actually was there.
No, but I don't think you're going to walk up to some bloke who's got some weird tattoo of weeds on the inside of his calf, on his right leg.
Yeah.
If you see that, you're going to go, oh, fucking hell, here we go. You're not going to walk up to him and go, oh, why did you get that tattoo?
No, exactly right.
Because you don't want to engage with a kook that's got doing that type of shit.
No, you never. Well, especially in the States, you never know what you're going to get.
No, but anywhere, you don't just walk up talking to random crazy people, and clearly with a tattoo of weeds, like you're not doing that anyway.
No,
honest, I have a pact with my inner child to never lose my ability to wish or dream. And what I see here is a bundle of wishes where other people may see a bundle of weeds. And because of that pact, because of that decision that I've made, I live a life that I love instead of a life that I'm forced to live.
Getting all teary.
And she looked at me, starting to tear up, and she said, I'm older now and closer to death than I've ever been. And I've lived my whole life afraid to die.
Call him bullshit on that.
Yep.
So he's made an inner pact with
his inner child. Yep. And he's going to say something profound now that's going to make her change her life. Is he the second coming?
Definitely. Oh, it has to be. He's the Messiah. He thinks he is. But I want to know that if he made an inner pact he made a pact with his inner child, but if his inner child's a pyromaniac, does he still have to actually live out that pact that he's made with his inner child?
Yeah, well, it's funny you should mention that. I had a mate that had a pact with their inner child, and their inner child was actually a pyromaniac, and he had to burn down someone's house every 3 weeks. Otherwise, he'd just go crazy.
Yeah, well, and that's he's living his truth. All right, let's hear him.
Yeah,
let's hear him change someone's life.
But talking to you, I feel like I've lived my whole life afraid to live. And at that point, with tears in my eyes, I said, "You're never too old to live." And she asked me if she could give me a hug, and I said, yeah. And we parted ways. And in that moment, I couldn't help but feel like I gave that woman an opportunity to love the rest of her life. So if I can share that opportunity with you, keep a pact with your inner child. Dream. Act on those dreams. Love the life.
What a wanker.
I think that's a general consensus as well. These are pretty much I just can't get over the creepy vibe. And the fact that he's married with 4 kids, he only
I
speaks
don't
about
think
a
that's
couple.
true either. I don't think that's true
Yeah.
either.
It's giving off some shirtlifter vibes.
There's a bullshit scale, right? Everybody bullshits to a certain degree.
Yes,
some
of course.
people may 1 or 2% of what they say could be bullshit, and some other people, 98% of what they say is bullshit. And he is in that higher end of guys that most of what he says is just bullshit.
I'd have to agree with you there, Dave. And I've got one final video for this week with Woke Dad, because this is our introduction to Woke Dad. But I have a feeling we might be coming back to him at some stage and seeing what he's getting up to.
I'd like to see what he's up to. Yeah, for sure.
have a go at this one.
Somebody once asked me how I could let my son change his name, how I could let him change the name that I gave him. And the truth is, he spent way more time choosing that name than I ever did.
All right, so I want to take umbrage with that straight away. If he took more time thinking about his name or the name that he wanted than this guy did, then he's a bad parent.
How old is the kid too? Like, this is what I'd like to know. And what did he change his name to? Like, if he's a younger kid, surely it's going to be Ultra Mega Lord Supreme Master of the Universe or something like that. I mean, that's what I'd be. I mean, if someone said you can change your name now, what are you going to call yourself? I'd think of some crazy shit like that. Or if it's a littler kid, he's going to he's going to say, like, Hamburglar Hot Cock, Hot Wheels or something.
It's a Dingus McViper.
He's going to think of some crazy name. That's right. He's going to think of something crazy.
It's his identity and he has a right to it. But I also came up with the perfect answer today. I was walking through the halls of the New York State Senate and I walked into an office of one of the senators that I was there to speak with. And the staff member asked me to write down my name. And as I was writing down my name, she asked me how I pronounced it. And as I pronounced it, she said, "That is a powerful name."
So
how would she know it's a powerful name if she can't pronounce it?
Exactly right. You got it in one. Exactly what I was thinking. And the other thing is too,
God,
how many ways are there to pronounce Daniel Alexander?
Well, I wonder how he pronounced it. Did he just go Daniel Alexander, or was he giving it a bit of Daniel Alexander? Like, if he's doing a bit of that sort of gear, you might go, yeah, that's a powerful name. But if he says it the way he talks, you're just going to be like, oh, no, maybe I was wrong. Move on.
Yeah. That's actually quite an effeminate name, but thanks.
And I kind of laughed it off for a second. And she said, no, names have power. And I thought, wow, the irony of me hearing that, standing in front of a Senate representative that I'm there to talk with about gender affirming care. Names do have power. And I don't need to have control over my children. They have control over their own identity.
No, you need to have control over children. That's what being called a parent. That's what being a parent is.
Why doesn't he name the senator? He's dropping all these bombs about how he's changing the world and doing all this stuff and everything, but he doesn't name the senator that he's there to see.
Well, you'll find out in later videos he's big on consent. Even if they do give it, he's still not going to actually put anything forward because it's all made up.
Yeah, I think it might be.
Which means my son's name, the one that he chose, that is a powerful name that he chose. That's giving him control over his own identity. I think that's a beautiful sentiment.
Even if he does say so himself.
I would love to know what his son's name is.
Sauron. King of Mordor. I don't know. Yeah, that's Daniel. He's become quite internet famous for these sorts of videos.
Surely people are watching him just to have a laugh. They're not taking him serious.
Oh, I don't think too many people are taking him serious, mate.
No,
I don't think.
It's
too
like
many
when things go viral, like, if you shit yourself in a spa and it's on camera, like that goes viral. This is the same sort of scenario.
Yeah, virtue signaling, shit yourself in a spa. Yeah, it's about right. It's about the same.
They're on par.
Well, the funny thing is too, if you look at his comments, there's I think there's a lot of I think negative comments are turned off, or he's just deleted them because everything is affirming him as a beautiful individual and an ally
Really?
to the LGBTQIA plus community and all
Maybe
this sort of stuff.
We should throw some comments up on his newer stuff and just see if he deletes it and just to see what happens.
Yeah,
and then also flick up a few like good ones. We'll just make them up and just blow his horn a bit. See what happens.
and bait him into it. Okay. Problem is, I'm not getting TikTok. So because
we're on everything else, but all right. Well, you're on everything else. I don't even know how any of it works.
It's all right. All right. So anyway, that's Woke Dad. We might come back and have a bit of a visit with him in the coming weeks, and could be months for us the way with our release schedule. But I've got another Dear Dave. It's been a bit of an influx.
Okay, great.
I've got a good one for you too. So let me just bring this up here, and I'll read it out to you, and you can give us your best. Now, I've also had a bit of a thought about this one myself, so I'll let you do your magic, and I'll come in with my subpar suggestions as well. So, Dear Dave, I love wearing traditional clothing from different cultures, but recently someone accused me of cultural appropriation. How do I enjoy and respect other cultures without offending anyone? Culturally confused.
Look, I think if you're going to do it, you have to do it well. You can't be mucking around. And if you're going to be wearing a costume from someone else's culture, don't get one from a cheesy costume shop or out of a show bag or something like that. You have got to look legit, and you've got to own it when you're doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you're going to be, dressed up like a ninja, and you're being all ninja-y going down the street, jumping in and out of shadows and stuff like that, you've got to make sure you've got real throwing stars and that your sword is ultra sharp and stuff like that. And if someone calls you out, just quickly throw a few ninja stars at them, and you want to make one of them just nick their ear so that they know you're serious. Flick one between their legs and throw one at their feet, and then pull your sword out and then just chop down a street sign. Point the sword at them, don't say anything, and just walk away. And then they're going to be confused as to whether or not you're actually a real ninja. Whereas if you've just got plastic equipment, that's a dead giveaway that you're a fake, straight away.
Yeah, you just.
So I think 100%. You've got to look legit, and it doesn't matter, because you got a mask on, obviously, if you're a ninja. And it's the same. It's exactly the same thing as if you're with a bunch of your mates. You've been getting on the cans. And then you go, boys, let's throw on the Chinese dragon outfit, because you need about 8 blokes to manage one of those as a minimum. And if you're running down the street, in a conga line fashion with your Chinese dragon, make sure you've got a genuine, legitimate flamethrower up the front so that you can burn some shit as you go on. So if someone's given you a bit of a, you shouldn't be doing that because you're obviously a bunch of white guys in a Chinese thing.
Yeah.
Just set someone's letterbox on fire and keep going. And they'll think, it legitimizes what you're doing is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like you've got to do it 100%.
Okay, yep, those guys, they burnt down my letterbox. They're riggy-dig.
Yeah, that's a real Chinese dragon, right? That's the type of shit that you've got to have going on. Exactly the same thing goes, Nathan, when you're dressed up in your outfit and you've got your emerald-coloured sparkly G-string on, and you got to make sure you've got the matching titty tassels and all the feathers and shit, like the Brazilian outfit thing is what I'm talking about, the carnival outfit.
Yes,
because that's what he was talking about. When you're wearing that, you've got to make sure you've got the matching shoes to your G-string and your titty twizzlers, and all your feathers should be the same color. And if Karen rocks up to you and starts giving you a hard time about it, you should say, Karen, this is Kmart. I can wear whatever the hell I want. And then just strut off, like a boss and just do your own thing, be the best you can be. But be legitimate while you're doing it. I think that's the biggest thing. You've got to look like a boss.
All right. So here's the thing. If you do that and you've picked up a couple of our Asian community sort of like cultural attire, do you go the full goog and put the tape on your eyes and tape them back as well, or are we going a bit too far?
No, well, you'd use Staples, clearly.
There you go. All right, no worries. Perfect, easy.
But it goes. It's exactly the same thing if you're dressing up like a Mexican. Get a genuine
easy on the
poncho.
Mexicans, Dave. I know where you're going with this.
Get a genuine, a sombrero. Like, you've got to look the part,
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing. Like, you can't say you're doing the wrong thing. If you're half-arsing it, people go, "Oh, now you're taking the piss." Whereas if you look legit, so you need to have a gold-plated gun. Like, whip out that gold-plated Desert Eagle, wave it around, and just make sure you've got a kilo of cocaine in your back pocket. Like, you're legit then, and then that.
I thought that'd be more a Colombian rather than a Mexican, but
Oh no, the Mexicans love their cocaine and that sort of stuff too.
Yeah,
I believe
cartels.
it's hearsay. I don't know. Yeah,
yeah. Oh,
they're into it too,
you just got
and they love a gold Desert Eagle as well.
You just got the hate on for the Mexicans, but we already know that. So
no, I love our Mexican cousins and their cocaine.
Oh, first it was their beer, now it's their cocaine. Fantastic. All right, very good.
Yeah,
touching all bases.
No, I think to just finish this off, don't half-ass it.
Yep.
You've got to give it 110%. And if some woke person comes up to you sprouting off about you shouldn't be wearing that stuff, whip out that gold Desert Eagle, just push it between their eyes and just gently push them out of the way as you walk off.
There you go.
Job done.
Great minds. There you go. Well, look, I have had a bit of a think about this myself too, and I think what you've covered there is pretty much enough to go on with and to fix. Well, I won't say the young man's name, but it's I think he should use the wokeness back at them, sort of thing. So any of those,
you have a woke off?
No, well, sort of. The Karen comes up to you, and what you do is you say to her, "I identify as that nationality or that culture." So they can't invalidate your truth if you identify as someone from Japan. I'm wearing a kimono, because also if it's a guy and he's wearing a kimono,
what do you do? What do you do when you're down the street and you're wearing your kimono and someone comes up to you and they call you out on it?
Well, first of all, I'd hope that they'd actually recognise the effort that I've gone to.
That it's a genuine kimono.
It's a genuine kimono, isn't it? And it really shows off my figure. So,
yeah.
Well, the other thing is, I think this is another way you might be able to tackle it. Is so I'm a big hockey fan, as most people that know me would know. I think that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and if you're like, I'm wearing a hockey jersey or I'm wearing a basketball jersey or something like that, I'm not pretending to be a professional athlete, but I'm supporting that team. So if I'm wearing a kimono or like you said, I've got the carnival sort of gear on, well, that could be a bit scary with me
Yours
wearing
is blue though, right?
Sorry?
Not emerald.
No, I'd go blue.
Your carnival gear is blue. Yeah.
Bring out my eyes. So I would say that I'm not trying to be that culture. I'm just supporting that culture. So that's the way I could see you getting away with it. So, Nathan,
good luck to you, buddy.
I think between the two of us, we've given you lots of alternatives, and I think that you could probably work the rest out yourself. So, Baylen, what are you doing there, Baylen? So anyway, all right. So that's pretty much it for today, mate. I don't think there's much more that we've got to get to. I think we're going to make this a fairly quick one because we know where our sweet spot is, and it's not with going too long. People don't listen to us for too long, so.
There's like 45 minutes of crap and 2 minutes of funny stuff.
Well, that's about the way our conversations usually go. So. Anyway, guys, that's it for another week. If you'd like what you heard here from us today, don't forget to subscribe and follow us on your favorite podcatcher. And you can also reach out and talk to us on social media. We'd really love that. Remember, you can also listen to us on Rumble and YouTube now as well, which is pretty cool. We've got 5 episodes up on Rumble, and as we speak, I think I've got 4 up on YouTube. We actually getting a lot of love on the guys from Rumble. They're our people, I think, Dave. The Rumblers.
The Rumblers. Yeah, fucking right on.
Please rate the show 5 stars if you would be so kind to help us with the dreaded algorithms. But you're welcome to let fly and give us a spray in the comments. Tell us what you really think. Also, don't forget to send in your problems for Dave to address right here on the show at gomalarmy@gmail.com. Just put Dear Dave in the subject line and I'll shoot it to me mate and he'll fix your life right up for you. Or we'll get you into more trouble. We don't know which yet. Anyway, say goodbye to the listeners, Dave.
Goodbye, listeners. Don't break rule 1.
And if you're listening to this, you are the resistance, and we will catch you next time on Get Off My Lawn, where, unlike Gen Z, we don't think entering into a Twitter debate counts as social activism. Stay sane, stay skeptical, and most of all, stay well.
We jest and laugh at tropes so clear, with satire that millennials hear. Gen Z joins the mock affair.